Bag Chasers? This is Reckless Ray back at you again with that weekly update on the portfolio. Started off with a little bit of housekeeping. Obviously, my Bag Chasers are getting this first. I'm very active within the Bag Chase community. Link to that for the Anton Daniels Patreon is in the description below. That's the only place that you're going to have direct access to me for at least the first year that I'm doing this. As like a thank you and a credit to him, because if it wasn't for the Bag Chasers, I wouldn't be doing this update in this fashion, period. Like, it just wouldn't be happening. So to honor that, at minimum the first year they're getting this content first. That's the place that I'm most active, in their Discord channel. That's where you're going to find me. So with that said, like, if you're wanting to ask questions, you can reach me there. That's going to be the only means of contact that I'm going to open up for right now, unless you already know me and have a way to get a hold of me. Secondly, obviously, this is not financial advice. This is just tracking my journey in this space. I've been doing this for going on 10 years. Figured now, with the markets being as choppy as they are, always a good time to start talking is when everybody else is shutting up. So this is how I've lined out doing it. So let's talk about what's gone on this week. Obviously, Bitcoin did the exact opposite of what everybody thought it was going to do. Liquidated a bunch of shorts. For those of you who got caught in the shorts, I am sorry. Don't bet against Bitcoin. Best advice. Let's talk about what we did as far as buys this week. You will notice between this week and last week, the Olympus Dow section. I haven't been selling this. I am just no longer buying. I hit my metric on this, so this is kind of autopiloting at this point. I am using the compound coins that I'm getting and using those to get into other positions. We do not cash out of crypto. We reallocate crypto around here. I don't want dollars, so there's no need for me to have them. The position that I am growing, also on my buy list this week, is going to be the GMX position. You're going to start seeing this steadily grow. I am taking a position on this exchange. We went over this in last week's video. I really am interested in this project. I like the way that you get exchange fees. I like being part of that ecosystem. It gives me something on Arbitrum that I use regularly. So I'm slowly but steadily growing. Like, obviously, you're not going to see this thing jump up the way that I previously would have when I first got into this market, which was just to throw the whole bag at it and one go and, use my money for it. We're not doing that now. We're using the investments to attain other investments. We're not using my personal dollars to expand the wealth at this point. The other thing that we did this week, we bought some more Ethereum. We're building up that Ethereum / staked Ethereum for the network merge. We'll be buying that pretty much indefinitely. As far as like balancing out what's left of this year, we're kind of doing damage control because I got a little wild towards the beginning of the year and took some hits. So, because I didn't do what I should have done. So now we're doing what I should have done on the back end. So those were the three things that were purchased this week. The other thing that I did was I also bought, which is going to be a little bit later in the video, I bought a couple of NFTs this week. So shout out to VoodoosClub. It seemed pretty interesting. Saw some chatter about it. Went and looked to check and see what was on the floor. The floor was really low, so there was no reason not to pick up like two of them. It was like maybe a $25 total investment just to see what we can do with it. So there's also that. As far as the news that was hit this week, we're gonna say I brought this up because, like, in America, which is where I am, so like everything that I talk about is from an American perspective. There's not a lot of people that are active in the space. as far as like when you're talking about like minorities and our involvement in this. I mean, if you look at the landscape, it almost looks like it's just like a bunch of white people doing this. And, you know, it's so early, but the thing that I always reference is I'm like, in Africa, they are very much crypto forward because their systems are so blatantly corrupt that it's very noticeable and it does affect their everyday lives. So everybody who's trying to sidestep something that's gate kept, which in those countries, your wealth, how you navigate with your money is very much done so like that. There's just so many opportunities and so many people involved in this space. So like I just wanted to, you know, show some love. Like Nigeria, they're real big in blockchain, they're real big in Bitcoin, they're real big in cryptocurrency, and like these people are doing things in the space and building and transacting and like understanding how this works, and they're so far ahead of the game, and it's sad that like they're here because they pretty much have to be, because things are so corrupt that they need to be in the space to circumvent that. But it's awesome because they're so far ahead in terms of like where the ball's going as far as like what finance is going to look like in the future, that, you know, I think that once the dust settles on this, it's going to be interesting who the people that are going to be in positions of power are going to have wealth, or whose lives are going to change because they were early adopters. And with that said, we're still early, very early. Another big news story this week, obviously the Ethereum merge. We had some talk in the back channel on the Discord about, after this merge happens, the L2s could potentially be the L1s. And I 100% agree with that. There's some ecosystems that I like, but the more I'm poking around on the L2s for the Ethereum, and this is pre-merge, they're really nice to use. Very nice. Like, we did Arbitrum last week's video. It's great to use. Like, it's a good chain to be on. Like, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the merge, obviously. Like, I'm going in for the infrastructure play on that. But, I mean, there's not much more to be said. There's going to be a lot of Ethereum news in the weeks coming up. We're going to be hearing about it over and over and over again. It's going to be the thing. It's going to be a good price driver for a lot of the projects that are involved. And I'm excited to see this go through. It's going to be very interesting next couple of weeks. The ride for Ethereum will not be over post merge. Like, where there's going to be an adjustment period. There's going to be people that just sell off into the merge. There's going to be people that hold long through the merge. There's going to be people that are going to be getting set up for the passive income that's going to be provided by the blockchain itself post-merge. So we're probably going to have, I'm thinking, at least 3 months to a year of price action based off the merge as that gets settled out. So there's that. Looking at VoodoosClub, pretty interesting. I mean, this was a fun play. I saw some people that I look up to in the crypto space that were seeming pretty interested in it. Saw some chatter about it. Saw the floor price was like $25. Throw it out there, see what sticks. This won't hurt me. Doesn't really affect me that much. I like the ones that I bought. I like the imagery on them, so I'll use them for profile pictures or promotional stuff. You're probably going to see one on this video, most likely. I'm thinking that we'll probably use this for my NFT from this for this video's cover photo. That's pretty much all there is to say about it. Like, the price was so low that it was like grabbing a couple of these and just holding on to them to see if something happens was worth it for me. And that's kind of, when it comes to NFTs, in my opinion, like, if there's not like a clearly defined deep utility for it, that's what you're doing. So kind of what it is. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was random things that pumped a bunch this week. So we're going to go back to the CoinGecko page here. So as you can see, Terra Luna pumped this week a lot. Which the new Luna, not understanding what's going on with that. Like, I don't really buy this coin. Everything that I have as far as this goes is going to be what I had gotten when it crashed out, and I pretty much printed this never-ending 40% loss that I'm digging my way out of right now for this year. Like, this project literally ruined this year's portfolio, which is why I tell people don't invest, especially in altcoins, with more than you can afford to lose, because it was a terrible experience, and I wasn't happy about it. This, along with one other hit, like I took a 1-2. I got the 2-piece, no sandwich, but I got that 2-piece this year off 2 of the projects I was involved in that went south. This one I got a little something out of. So those are staked because, like, it just wasn't enough to even warrant selling off to get anything back, because it was like nothing back, like, at all. It was just bad news bears all around. The other play that I am making is off the original chain that crashed. So Luna Classic, there's a lot of hubbub in the back channels about Luna Classic. They're looking at rebuilding the chain. They're trying to fix it and continue moving this side of the chain forward as well, which, more power to them. But I'm looking at this like a meme coin play. Like, the whole goal of this is they're saying that they can get to a cent, which obviously is going to take a few zeros off this to get to a penny, but like their ultimate goal is they're trying to push it back to $1. Which, the plan that I have in place, I'm dollar cost averaging $100, which is what I'll throw at any meme coin play that I'll go in and just be like, hey, we're going to throw it in. That is basically, as far as I'm concerned, gambling. I'm throwing that money away. But if any of them hit, then, like, if this gets back to $1, then I'm covered and made whole for everything that I lost on that project and the other project that I lost money on this year. And, like, that would literally, even if it's a year or two down the line, since I'm throwing 100 at it and looking away, will cover those losses in the long run. So it's a gamble play. What I'm doing is, every time I go to exchange my coins on Qcoin, I am buying $10 of Terra Luna Classic and then sending it to my Luna wallet and then staking it and then not looking at it anymore. So that way, the whole time that I'm waiting for it to hit my sell metrics, I can, have it there. And so, like, my sell metrics will basically going to be, after its position, I'll have a sell at 1 cent. I'm going to have a sell at 50 cents. And then I'll have a closeout at $1, basically. So, like, if it hits $1, then I'm good. I'll be better than good with how many that I'm going to be accumulating. Because, like, right now, $10 is, like, roughly roundabouts, like, I think it's like 15 to 20,000 of these coins. So, for a shot in the dark to get something back off this project, I'm not going to be sweating putting $10 every time I do an exchange, which is like once every week or two, to sort that out. So that's what we've got for this week. It's been an interesting week because the sky was falling and now the sky is raining candy down on everybody. So that's always interesting. And like, if you watch the news, as soon as Bitcoin's price dropped, all the news was, it's over, we're going down to 1,000. And then what happens? It shoots up to almost 22,000, liquidates everybody who was shorting off the news that we were going down to 1,000, which is, like, you kind of have to make your own assessments off of that and, make your best judgment. But I definitely would not follow what anyone says as far as suggesting what you should do with your Bitcoin, because last week, remember, they were telling you to sell it all. And, well, apparently somebody bought it all. So take that with a grain of salt when somebody's telling you what you should do with your money. That's not what they're doing with their money. And that's what I've got for this week, Bag Chasers. I will see you guys next week. And always, for my Bag Chasers, if there's something specific that you'd like thrown in these videos, or if there's questions that you have, or things that you think we should add or able to, or things that you think should be added or that I can improve upon, most definitely let me know, because I am trying to expand this out. As you can see, the videos are getting longer. Hopefully I'm getting a little bit better at this. But as far as this week goes, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Excited going into next week. I'm really excited for the next 12, 24, 36 months down the road. Like, the stuff that I'm putting in place now, most likely most of the things that I'm getting set up aren't going to be coming into fruition until at least 12 months out. So, like, this is just the planting seeds phase. You're seeing which seeds I'm planting real time, and like, you guys are on the ride with me. So hopefully everybody's learning, everybody's hopefully expanding their wealth and doing something smart with their money and not fumbling the bag. Have a good week, Bag Chasers. Let's get it.